WNST, Towson, Baltimore, at the Baltimore Brigade this Saturday, taking on the Albany Empire down at the Royal Farms Arena. You can learn more about everything they're doing there at BaltimoreBrigade.com, as well as at the Monumental Sports app. You download that, you can watch the game. It's at 3 o'clock on Saturday from the Royal Farms Arena, as well as next Friday, Ron Jaworski bringing those Philadelphia Soul down here to the Royal Farms Arena. That game is on the 4th. We're going to get out to North and West right now out to Coppin State, one of our partners. You can learn more about everything that goes on at Coppin State Sports at CoppinStateSports.com. Basketball season now over and well into the spring. This guy is no stranger to the program as a listener and as a friend of ours here and a member of the baseball community, upstanding. He is the skipper, longtime skipper of the Coppin State Eagles, and really enjoying some success in MEAC right now, playing some good baseball amidst some bad weather conditions. I have often had his student athletes on here the last couple of weeks, and Sherman, I got to tell you, man, you don't brag on your kids enough, because I've talked to the young man that played for the Hawaiian Little League team up in Williamsport. I've had some of your prospects on from New York and New Jersey up there who all love the Yankees. I've had fun talking to your kids this year, and you guys are playing some good baseball right now.
Nestor, we're undercover, man. You got to come visit. When we bring a recruit on campus and the recruit leaves and his head is spinning, he say, "Wow, Coach Reed, I had no idea you guys had so much to offer here in Baltimore." So, and we don't talk as much as we probably ought to about some of the spectacular opportunities we feel we provide student athletes here at Coppin State. And you're right, Duhei, the kid from Hawaii, is just one example. Come a long way to play Division I baseball, and he's chosen Baltimore, and it's worked out for him.
And every one of these kids has a story, right? Along with you recruiting them. And you know, I would think recruiting's no different than it's ever been. You still got to, go, see, do, feel, touch. Recruiting's a full-time thing that I guess we don't talk a whole lot about it because we focus so much on the games and stuff. But when I hear a kid from Hawaii showed up in West Baltimore to play baseball for you, and I know what's at stake here, that moving people around. I mean, you're playing baseball, and there's an education here for this young man. That there's a heck of a story there about family and about recruiting, and every one of the kids has a story like that.
I tell you what, Nestor, take a look at our roster, and you'll see we have representation from 4 different countries and 18 states. I'm here to tell you, in terms of the diversity of where we go to find our guys, I don't think there's another roster out there that shows that. And the guys come in. It's a small school. The recruiting, as you mentioned, never stops. In fact, we've got a spectacular 2018 class that we just concluded, and the guys do a good job going through the grinds of fall baseball to make time to welcome and host the number of kids that come through the doors here during their recruiting visits in the fall. And it never stops, and we're really proud of how well the current team has welcomed the recruits in, recognizing that they're prospects, and quite a number of them have said yes to our opportunity, so that we're even looking brighter for the future in terms of the kids that's going to be coming through the doors here at Coppin this fall.
Now, you've been over at Coppin for a little over a decade all told, right? First as an assistant, then taking over the program here. This has been the most amount of success that you've had, that the program's had, and I want to give you an opportunity to brag on it because you're going into a really meaty time of the year, but you're playing some good baseball right now. Certainly, and this is my chance to take a cheap shot at the Orioles, the best brand of baseball we've seen here in Baltimore in recent weeks.
Hey, Baltimore needs to adopt us, and if someone can get the word out to Manny, tell Manny to go back to third. That there would solve a lot of.
Oh man, see, I knew I'd suck you into an Orioles conversation, Sherm. I knew that.
Boy, but yeah, we're having success here. It took us about 3 or 4 years just to rebrand Coppin State Eagles baseball, and it didn't happen overnight. It started really with the 2015 class. The 2015 class has proven to have been probably the most successful class that I've had here at Coppin. These guys are all juniors now, and when you look at the impact that we're having from the juniors on this current roster is that all as a result of the coaches. Coach Kimball, when he was with me back during that year, was responsible for us having a spectacular 2015 recruiting class. But, yeah, we're having a lot of success. I mean, we're sitting at the top of the Northern Division, just had, a very tough 3-game series against the defending Northern Division champs in the Norfolk Spartans. And, they've won the North the last 3 years. They're a pretty good ball club. We were able to come away with a hard-fought 2 out of 3, including the more recent game, the 2-1 victory this past weekend. So, we're getting better as we go through this season, and we're now down to just 2 weekends left of conference play, and I like our chances for perhaps wrapping up the division as early as this coming weekend.
Well, finally some weather, right? I mean, I looked through your schedule here since the last time we chatted, and I've chatted with some of your guys, but some postponements, some games moved around. Certainly you and I have talked about the need for pitching at your level. You think the Orioles need pitching. You have all sorts of restrictions and issues and rainouts and different hills and fields and all sorts of things that you guys go through to play baseball this time of the year, but there's no one short of maybe, Ocean City, Maryland that likes sunshine more than you guys do, right?
Yeah, in fact, we finally have been able to take the jackets off this weekend. We had a stint just over the last 10 days where, because of cancellation and being creative in moving games around to try to beat some of the bad weather forecasts, we had a stint of 6 baseball games in 6 days. Literally 6 baseball games in 6 days. Half of them were on the road, and this club came away with a 5-1 record. Again, it's a tribute to how well these guys have responded to some adversity this year, and they just keep coming back. And the weather hasn't been helpful. It's probably, in my 8 years as head coach here, this has probably been the toughest spring because the cold just never went away. We had stints of 2 to 3 days where it get a little warm, you get above 50, 55, and then boom, we get slammed again. So to have the success, the degree of success that we're having this season with all the adversity we've had, death in the family. Our number one guy for the weekend had to fly home for a week because of death in his family, and then having other guys pick up and come up with big performances, including this past weekend when Aaron Ray just was spectacular in that 2-1 rubber game that secured the series from Norfolk State. The guys are just, when I say that they have truly brought into the program and the processes that we have in place, the advanced scouting that our coaching staff does, I think we do about as well with our advanced scouting of our opponents as anyone in the conference, and it's paying dividends because the guys are then going out and executing the game plan in which we put in place for them.
CoppinStateSports.com is the way to learn more about everything they're doing down there. By the way, playing baseball down at Joe Cannon Stadium down in Hanover, that's right near the casino, right near the Arundel Mills area down there in Hanover. Del State all day on Saturday at 12 and 3, and then at noon on Sunday as well. And that's senior day, alumni, all that stuff going on this weekend. And then you guys kind of take it on the road, D.C., Norfolk the following weekend. But you do have a game down at UMBC as well on the 9th. I love when the local stuff happens, but your big tournament, you go down to Florida for the MEAC tournament Preakness week, kind of sort of about a month from now, right? And that's really where you're tested, where you're seeing everybody, right?
That's when we have a chance to do something really special. I mean, the making an NCAA regionals, or having a berth, an opportunity to go to a regional is at state at that point in time. We still got to wrap up, like I said, clinching, and we hope that we can clinch the North this week. But we get a chance to see some of the top MEAC teams from the South, the Bethune-Cookmans and the Florida A&Ms. So it's always fun to get to the MEAC championships and see that other brand of MEAC baseball that we don't tend to see during regular season.
Well, hang in there. Anything you want to say about the Orioles other than picking on Machado to get back to third base? But it's quite a mess, isn't it?
The hole is so deep we're digging. Hey, Nestor, when you get to September and, when everyone's fighting for that wild card, that last wild card, and the divisional win. You tend to sometimes forget the April games and the March games, and the April games. But I can tell you now, with the hole that we're digging, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. It's not likely you can play 750, 800 baseball, over 80, 90 to 100 games, but it's getting to that point where it's going to be tough. But hey, I'm a big fan. We're going to stick behind the orange and black, and hopefully Buck can get things turned around.
Well, it's certainly a season of change, right? And this sort of start would begin the movement of Machado and a deal, begin the movement of what's going to happen with Adam Jones and Buck and Duquette. So, that's where we are, because it really accelerates that conversation if there's going to be no season at all. Then it becomes about fire sale, right?
And it's tough because you really have a GM and a head coach. You have the manager and the GM both not having contracts beyond this season, and sometimes it's tough to have the guys buy into what you're trying to tell them, because they look around and they don't even believe the guy that's talking to them is going to be around next year. So there's all kinds of issues that some is off the field that I believe that's contributing to the Orioles' struggles this season.
Hey, man, always a pleasure. You got a lot of baseball going on, right? So a lot of baseball we're going to play over the weekend. You're going to need the pitching and the rest and the good weather, and a lot of season left in you guys as well as you get down and play your final games at home here at Coppin Stadium this weekend. Hey, good luck to you.
This weekend. Thanks, Nestor. Hey, look, we're telling guys the last chance to see a championship team. We're going to clinch this weekend. And we hope people will come out to Arundel Mills Boulevard to Coppin Stadium and watch some championship baseball in the area.
That's noon and 3 on Saturday, doubleheader there, and noon on Sunday as well. Coppin State Eagles. Say hello to the fellas that I've had on the program. You've got a nice group of guys there, Sherm.
Thanks again, Nestor. We'll speak real soon.
You got it. Sherman Reed is the head coach, or skipper, as I like to say, for all things baseball at Coppin State, and also an Orioles fan, and also a WNST listener as well. You can learn more about the baseball program and everything they do over at CoppinStateSports.com, where we partnered and ran their basketball games back in the winter, and hope to be doing that again. We've had a great amount of fun and some laughs with all the Coppin folks over there, as we've had them on each and every week. You can find me out in the Buy at Toyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. We deliver a morning newspaper digitally at 7 a.m. each and every morning. It's free. You sign up online. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. Our morning newspaper also includes the Maryland Jockey Club and the Laurel entries for the weekend. And, of course, we've got the Kentucky Derby next weekend. My wife and I are going down to Laurel for Derby Day, so please join us down there for that. And then, of course, we'll be joined by another 70 or 80 or 90,000 people at Old Hilltop on the 18th and 19th. Pink Festival on the 18th and the Black Eyed Susan. Then on the 19th, the bands come in and the Preakness Festival takes over. We'll see if Justify can justify being the likely favorite, going to be at this point the favorite for the Kentucky Derby next week with Bob Baffert. So it's a Triple Crown season around here. I am the guy that still talks about horse racing and grabs Kenny Mayne and Bob Baffert and all that stuff. So we'll be having some horse racing experts on, as well as all the draft coverage we're doing, all the Orioles insights we have. Luke's at the ballpark. Luke will be at the Castle this weekend. I'll be manning the mothership here as well. The WNST tech service will be alive with each and every pick as they come off the board. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And, of course, Dennis Colatzos will be here on Thursday. Draft, get you ready for that. Getting you ready for, whatever's coming down the line after the draft. And we're going to have a whole new football team come Monday around here. It is the SSV on WNST heard on Thursdays from 3 until 5 with Dennis Colatzos of Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. Want to remind everyone we're doing the charity series on Thursday. It's all brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank, where they have that relentless commitment to being the best at everything they do, as well as our friends at Cole Roofing. And Billy Cole joined me earlier this week to talk about the Ravens draft. And you can find him at Cole Roofing as well as at Pfister Energy. But together we're doing this Thursday series with charities, local organizations, raising funds. We've had so many different, just in the first month, different kinds of charities. If you've got a charity out there you want me to spotlight, it's very easy. Email me, nasty@WNST.net. It's all brought to you by Howard Bank and our friends at Cole Roofing. An easy way to get that done as well. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.